Okay, so we're going over Texas. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to do our business plan before we do anything, whether you're working at a salon suite, a shop, or not even working, period. You need a business plan. And in the back port, of course, in our starter program, everything is back here. Here's the business plan. Now, the great thing about this business plan, let's preview this as if we were a student back here, although I know we have a lot of people in the program here. So let's go here, business plan. Now,
Okay.
the great thing about this, I'm recording, I'm talking about the business plan. I'm just not showing you a business plan, but I'm talking about it first. Now, when we go in here, not only that, there is a copy of a completed business plan. This business plan right here, let me make it larger. It's copy, cut, and paste, fill in the blank. So even if you don't know how to do a business plan, this is for a school and a school only, whether it's barber, Cosmo, nails, aesthetics, any beauty school. That's what this business plan is. Now, it has a checklist, 100-point checklist, things that you should do before signing your lease, things you should do after signing your lease. Well, how much money will I need to start? That depends. But you can go by this checklist because Amina's rent is going to be different from Karen's rent. You know, Amina is in Indiana and Karen is in New York. So everybody can plug and play their own numbers in here for the leasehold improvements. This building may not need plumbing. That building may need electrical. We don't know, but at least you can have this checklist before you even sign your lease to your building. You need to go over this checklist. What if we sign a lease and the air conditioning unit goes out, commercial unit, and we got to replace it because we didn't go over this checklist to see if it was under warranty? Now you got to pay $5,000 or $6,000, like one guy did who thought he knew everything, but he had to replace that commercial unit. Talks about the failure factors. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire business plan, but I just wanted you all to see this, how to choose a location. It talks about everything in here. So this is the business plan. Copy and paste. Even when we get into the business plan, look, put your school name. Even if you don't have a building or anything right now, it does not matter. You still need to have your school on paper. Now, why do we need a business plan? Hey, Savina got 250,000. Carrie got 150,000. So Savina got 250 from SBA with this business plan. This business plan is step by step. You just click this button, download it, copy and paste. Now, also, you want to do the business plan, print it out on good paper. If you're a beauty professional, you probably have some rich clients. They may be investors. Show them this business plan. When you go into the bank, the business plan, go to small banks, go to credit unions, go to the SBA. Now, what if we go and we don't have a business plan? They're not going to take you serious. So one, they're going to take you more serious. Two, this is going to prevent you from making a bunch of costly and timely mistakes. I mean, it has the 10 commandments on here of excellence. You don't need to change any of this. Just leave that. At the end, it has the numbers where you put your numbers in on your tuition. If your tuition's, this one, we'll just say is 11,000, 100 students, 1.1 billion. You may put 10 students at 10,000. That's 100,000. Plug and play your numbers. You may not do a 2,000 a week on the clinic floor. You may put 500 a week on the clinic floor. All right. You may not have any employees. You may be the only employee, like I was when I started. I was the janitor, the toilet bowl cleaner, front desk operator, theory instructor, practical floor instructor, the trash man. So it does not matter how you start, but this business plan is going to give you a GPS system before you start anything. People say, well, what should I do? I don't know how to start or where to start. Right here at the starter program, do this business plan. Why I don't know how to do a business plan? You don't have to. It's already done for you. It's copy and paste, fill in the blank. All right. So that's the first thing. The next thing, what are we going to do? Okay, we're talking about Texas today. We're talking about Texas. All right, but we have people from all different places. I need y'all to put in the chat where y'all are tuning in from. Put in the chat. Somebody put in the chat where you tuning in from. We know the state board rules in Texas, okay? There's no minimum square footage on a building. In Georgia, for a cosmetology school, you need 3,000 square feet, okay? Every state board is different. In Texas, you don't need an instructor's license to teach at a school. Anybody can own a school. But in some states, you need an instructor's license, a teacher's license to be able to teach. All right. But in Texas, you can be a barber, stylist, nail tech, esthetician, whatever, and teach in a school. All right. You don't need an instructor's license. Well, why is that? That's their rules and regulations. So it's important that you study your rules and regulations for your state. And you want to know your minimum square footage, if there is, the minimum equipment list, how many chairs, stations, shampoo bowls, hair dryers, all of that, the student to teacher ratio, how many tables and chairs you need in your classroom, how many restrooms you need in the building. All of this is important. And I'll give you an example. There's a guy that called, because most guys think they smart. He calls, he saw me on YouTube. This has been several years back. We talked and everything. And based on me listening to him and what he was saying, I said, well, you know what? I think to start a program, you should at least start there. I really think you need the bronze or gold because you are a guy, you're a man, and I don't think you can do paperwork really well and type and do all of that. I don't think your brain goes to the top like women. But I said at least minimum start, although I feel you need the bronze or gold because every time I talk to a man on the phone about, opening a school or whatever, dude, you probably gonna need these 5 or 6 ladies that I have on my team to really help you. But when I talk to a female, if they don't have the time or whatever, bronze or gold. But long story short, he said, well, you know what, I'll circle back around. I don't need your program. I said, okay, if you have a problem, whatever, reach out. Okay, about 8 or 9 months later, he reaches out. He opened up his school and state board came out. Guess what? He was 500 square feet short. All right. He done spent 60, 70,000 remodeling the building, doing all of this, done signed a 5-year lease. Boom, he fails his inspection. Why? Because he did not read his rules and regulations for his state to know the minimum square footage. He calls me. What should I do? Turn into a barbershop. Well, what can I do? Nothing. Well, what should I have done? You remember that conversation we had? Okay. So just because you figured you could do it yourself, you wanted to save $1, now you ended up losing $50. So that's the point of having a proven mentor to cut down the problems and mistakes. Now let's keep going because we got to look at Texas state board rules and regulations. If your state does not specify, if you don't see that in your rules and regulations, get on your cell phone and send an email to the state board. Hey, what is the minimum square footage for a Barbers, Cosmetology, Aesthetics, whatever type of school you're going to open for the state of whatever state you're in? Wait to get a response from the state board. Do not call them. Email them. Why should you email them? My mentor said, documentation beats conversation. You want to have a paper trail. And they may send you an email, well, there is no minimum square footage. All right, great. Imagine you open your school up and a state board inspector comes in and says, well, the minimum square footage is 2,000 square feet. Well, if you got that email, guess what? There's nothing state board can do. But if you don't have that email, well, they told me it was no minimum square footage. Look, you just out there in the water on a boat with no paddle. Like Miss Velma used to say, you kind of blank out. So we're going to keep going. Zoom record. Okay, so now we're going to go to our state board rules and regulations. We already know why we need to read the rules and regulations because of requirements. We need to know what we need. And what y'all going to understand and realize, you don't need a lot to open a school. All the school is an oversized shop. That's it. So now, just say we've looked at the rules and regulations. I'm not going to read all through the rules and regulations. You all can do that on y'all's own time. We want to pull up the license requirements, the license types. We can pull up barbering. Just say barbering right here. okay? And we want to do a lot of research. We just want to look at everything, the type of license they need. If we want to open up a school, look, attention, all barber and cosmetology schools, new curriculum course applications. You're going to need that. Let's click on here. Now, if we look on this page, the school license application, you click here, and in the program, we show you how to fill this out. Well, I don't know how to fill out the form. Let me show y'all this. It's a lot easier than you think. It's a few things that you may not know how to fill out. Can you let me know if y'all can see this screen? Can y'all see the screen? Let me know if y'all can see this screen. All right, y'all see it. Okay. So if you read everything, it tells you pretty much what you're going to need. All right. So just say we've read that. Now, it tells you where to send everything, the application. All right. It tells you how much. Now, something you may not know, what type of school is it going to be? You're going to have a private post-secondary. Okay. You don't have a public school. Yours is private, post-secondary. Now, you're going to need a CPA to fill out some financials that are not over 6 months. So you'll need a CPA for that. We're not CPAs. We don't do that part. We can refer you to some. Now, if you look at the application, name of your school, application fee, non-refundable. And that's another thing. In New York, like Karen on here, she's a school owner. Hopefully she'll be here at the end. I can bring her up. She'll tell you her application to New York was $5,000. Chris may be over here, and some of our other leaders from California is $5,000. Now, if you drop 5,000, 5 stacks on your application, you know you serious about opening a school. You very serious. Look at Karen, she said 5,000. I mean, yes, 5,000. Now, I don't know if Karen, did you want to come up and tell them about that? If you do, you can raise your hand. Let me know, Karen. Okay, now look, so here is going to be private post-secondary. Most people don't know that. The name of your school. Can somebody give me the name of their school? Suave, what's the name of, somebody give me the name of their school. I'm going to show y'all how easy this is. Upscale, okay. So guess what? We're going to put the name of our school, the exact name. If it's Upscale, Barber Academy, whatever the exact name is, we want to put it on here. We don't want to put Upscale Barber Academy. It's very important that we put the exact name and the exact spelling. Very important. If it's an LLC, we'll put that. The mailing address, what's the mailing address? What is the street name? The school website, phone number, email address, the contact person. Contact person will be Suave, Washington. Okay. Physical address, no P.O. box. All this is pretty self-explanatory. All right. You don't have a license number yet. Put the county, whatever county you in, whether it's Harris County, I don't know. Now, ownership, list the full name and contact name of the owners. So we're going to have the owners. Are you all looking at this? Make sure that you all are looking at this application. All right. Get a good look at this. All right. So the owners, we'll have Suave and Morgan, Suave Washington and Morgan Washington. We need the full names. Now, if you have a LLC, guess what? You will put that EIN. If you don't, you'll put your social. This is self-explanatory. There are going to be questions on this application that you may not have the answer to. You don't know the answer to. That's where we come in. All right. Your opening date. If you plan on opening 2 months from now, go ahead and put that date. The days of operation, you can be open whatever days you want. but make sure you put the days and the hours. Well, we're going to be closed on Sunday. Okay, we'll put closed. Monday, we're going to be open from 8 a.m. and we're going to have a class that's over at 10 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. All right. We're going to be closed on Saturday. Well, you will put closed there. Make sure you fill all of this stuff. If something don't pertain to you, put an A. Well, we're not teaching eyelash extension. We're going to be teaching Class A barber, and that's it. All right, that's what you check. If you're going to be teaching Class A barber, Cosmo, whatever, check that too. You're going to print this out, sign it, we'll put the name, Suave Washington, and then we'll title, owner, we can date it or whatever, and then we're going to print out and sign it. Okay, this is that application, but there's other stuff we got to do too. See, while we on here, look at this in blue. If you read all this, it's going to tell you, indicate the course that you're offering. Cosmetology curriculum. All right, we got to click on here. Open link. The forms, that link did not open, maybe because we're on live, but I'm going to show you all cosmetology. Let me go back. Okay. Now, school curriculum, approval applications. All right, so if you're doing Class A barber, I'm just saying we'll click here, Class A barber. Now this is going to pop up. You have to fill out this too. All right, you're going to need you got to fill this out for the curriculum. School name. You're not going to have your TDL license number yet because you haven't been approved or whatever. You need a course detail. You may not be doing distance education. If you do, you have to do that part. So let's scroll on down here. You got to fill this out. All this is easy. You already know y'all's name and all that. So we don't have to go over that. This right here, students' time will be accrued in clock hours, not credit hours, clock hours. That's something that the average person would not know. So you would choose clock hours. And for y'all that in the program, when y'all are filling this out, don't guess on nothing. If it's something you're not 100%, if you're in the starter program, email the ladies or whatever. Bronze, gold members, y'all know to call me. Let's see. Now, this is another thing that you all are not going to know. The course term. The course will be blank number of weeks, blank number of hours each week for a total of 1,000 hours. Now, y'all not going to know that. Now, so it's 1,000 clock hours. So what we're going to do, get on your calculator and type in 1,000. All right. 1,000. Now, Suave, how many hours a week are y'all going to do? Well, how many hours a week? So we're going to do 1,000 total hours for the program. We're going to divide that by the number of hours they're going to do per week. Suave said they're going to do 40 hours a week. So 1,000 divided by 40 is 25. Okay. So where it has, the course will be 25 number of weeks at 40 number of hours per week. All right. That's how we did it. Let's do it again. 1,000 hours, and they're going to do 40 hours per week divided by 40 equals 25 weeks. Now, Suave part-time, how many hours are they required for part-time? Are you going to do like 20 hours part-time or what? 20, okay. So what do we have to do? 1,000 divided by how many hours per week? 20 equals 50 weeks. So number of weeks, 50. All right. Total number of hours each week, 20. Okay. Now, if we're going to do Class A barber, 300 hours, we would do 300 hours divided by 40, 7.5 weeks, okay, at 40. And then 300 hours total divided by 20 hours part-time, there would be 15 weeks at 20 hours per week. So we put that there, okay? So now let's go on down here. Distance education. If so, please list the list the hours for the 1,000-hour course. This course will offer blank distance education core hours at accordance. Now, some school owners are not going to do distance because they don't want people just to be online. They want to have everybody in school. Everybody's different. We have a curriculum for distance education, but a lot of school owners don't do distance education. And we're going to get into the NACCAS stuff a little bit later. So we'll keep going. Learning management system. A lot of people wouldn't know that. A lot of people use SEMA. Let me go here right now. If you go to mylady.com, and I'll put this in the chat so y'all can at least get something. Even if you don't know how to teach, what to teach, or anything, if you can read, you can be an instructor. I was 26 years old, knew nothing about teaching, whatever. Ms. Bellman said, all you need is the My Lady curriculum. Here's My Ladies. Now, they do have the digital platform right here, SEMA. It does the testing. It does everything for you. You could literally not know nothing. This lays everything out, all online. The great thing about My Ladies, the lesson plans, your textbooks, everything is already there. You don't have to know how to teach. You can just play the videos on the TV and it breaks everything down for you. Okay? Dion uses it. And we'll bring a lot of the school owners up so they can tell y'all how easy it is too. All right, so I want to share that with you because on the distance education, well, how am I going to keep up with that? How am I going to do this? Look, we're in a digital world, technology. It's something that'll do everything. We just got to connect with the right people that know. All right, so now let's go back to okay, so y'all got that. Then you're gonna have to sign, print, date, do all of that. Now I got to show y'all the curriculums because y'all don't have those. So now you got the application. We can go back to TDLR. Back to that page. Let's see, stop share. A lot of our leaders, when they become accredited and they're receiving government funding, a lot of them will do a change of location because their enrollment skyrockets and the building that they have won't hold all of those people. You remember, I showed you all my first building, the little raggedy school in the hood, little cracker box. But then once I got accredited and got going really well, the enrollment skyrocketed. So I ended up moving to a rich area and had like a 12, 13,000 square foot building with over 200 and something students. But I started with 0, and I'll be sharing that with you all later on today. Now, okay, let's go down here, tuition and refund calculation worksheet. You need to know this because when a student withdraws, you may not have a computer software system that does this automatically. And this worksheet will show you how to do that. Now, I'm not going to go through this worksheet today, but I will create a video for you all on this. But a lot of our leaders that's in the program, when they have a student withdraw, or they have to put them out or whatever, I go through this with them. We go through it with them one-on-one so they have a clear understanding. But for you all that are on here, every student that withdraws or you put out, terminate, quits, or whatever, you must fill out a refund calculation worksheet. Even if they don't owe you money, you don't owe them money, nobody owes anybody money, it doesn't matter. You still have to fill out this worksheet, okay, and put it in the file. Why? Because when NACCAS comes in for your inspection and for your institutional self-study, which we're going to get into later with NACCAS, you need this. And a lot of school owners get wrote up for that because they don't have that. Okay, so now all of these curriculum, you're going to have to send in a curriculum with them. We have the curriculums for all of these. This is something that y'all not going to have. All right, y'all won't have this. Hold on. No, y'all ask, well, how do we get it? We have all of that for you. Copy and paste. No sense in you trying to type it up, add all the hours or whatever. I'm ready to show that to y'all right now. So we just go down here to Texas curriculum. Let me go in the back portal like a student. Okay. So now we're looking at the back portal like a student. Well, we need the curriculum. All right, here, boom, click there. Guess what? For y'all that need readers, cosmetology program, all the wording and verbiage, all the hours and everything, Class A Barber, 1,000. Y'all don't have to retype nothing. All y'all gotta do is download this and submit it. All these programs, everything, the wording, verbiage, grading, everything. It's already there. Barber, Cosmo, nails, aesthetics, esthetician / manicure to 800 hours. All this is broken down. You don't have to break it down. You just download this. Eyelash extension, 320, hair weave, 300. These are all of the curriculums. That's simple, okay? Now, we've already gone through that. Wasn't that easy? Click a button, download it, put it in there. That easy. Now, let's go over some more stuff. Now that we kind of talked about, yeah, you'll find it in there, Lacey. If you're in a bronze, or just send an email to the team. And that's another thing. When you're on the program, whatever y'all can't find or whatever, just email the team. That's simple. Or call. It's that simple. When you submit your application to the state board, make sure you follow up with them with the phone call and email. Say, hey, I submitted my application. But before you submit your application, you want to email the state board, call them, saying, hey, if I submit my application tomorrow, approximately about how long would it take? An estimate. And they may tell you, well, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe a month, maybe 4 months, because we're backed up or whatever. The reason why you want to call them or email and ask that question, because imagine if it's going to take you 3 months to get your building ready. Then that lets us know we need to go ahead and submit our application now. So by the time that the state board approves it, our plumbing, electrical, our build out is ready. And then everything will fall on time. We don't want to wait until our building is ready and then we submit our application to the state board and they tell us it's going to be 2, 3, 4 months before it's going to be approved. Does that make sense? So just say we buy the building day, sign the lease or whatever. We need to know this before, that way we won't be wasting time. And if you all are signing a lease with the landlord, ask them for 6 months free rent. They may say no. They may say yes. They may say why? Because it's going to take the state board X amount of time and I got to get the building ready. It doesn't hurt to ask. So we're going to keep going. Okay. A lot of people want to know how we're going to attract students. And although I have video trainings in this in the back portal, one, guerrilla marketing. We all know about that. When I opened my school back in 98, how am I going to attract students? Okay. Go to all the high schools. Y'all need to write this down. Go to all the high schools. Talk to the guidance counselors. When they have career day, go to the career day, set up a table, hand out the flyers and everything. Go to every barber, beauty, nail salon in your city. Get them cards, letting them know you can open a school. If they refer a student, you'll give them $100 cash. Okay? That's another thing. Go to all the news stations, the radio stations, let them know you're opening a school, you're going to give out a scholarship or whatever. Maybe to a student that such and such, such and such. Why? Because they may advertise it for free. They may come do a story on you since it's something that you're giving back. You're going to go to the dollar stores, the Walmarts, and let them people know, the cashiers, the workers, if they let them know they can come get a free service. Why? Because you want to start getting people in there. Now, go to a bartender. Why? A bartender comes in front of a lot of people. Go to the coffee shops, different places. Go to the Chamber of Commerce. Very important. Letting them know. Go to the prisons. Yeah. People get out of prison every day. They want to do something. Now, that's the students. That's guerrilla marketing. Go to the churches. Let them know you're opening a school. You may give out a scholarship for the pastor's name, Bishop Patterson. We want to give one scholarship out in your name. That way they may invite you in front of the church. You got your nice suit on, and they're going to give away the scholarship for Bishop such and such. And now all the other church members, guess what? You done gave away one free scholarship. There are other people in the church with money. They may want to send their son or daughter, or they may want to come to your school. So that's another way. Now, let's talk about social media. Everybody has a cell phone. We already know that. Everybody's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. You can do paid ads. When I talk about that in the back portal, $5 a day. Well, I want this ad to pop up in front of all of the people between ages of 18 to 35 that's in Houston, Harris County, that live within a 15-mile radius of my school. And then you have the ad now enrolling or video, want to be your own boss, earn financial independence, become a beauty professional, master barber, click the link. Then they click it. Yeah, it'll be a write-off. Give it your CPA. And when they click it, guess what? They put their name, email, phone number, hit submit. You get it, you call them back, that's a free lead. So that's how we're going to target for the students. Well, how are we going to get customers? Whatever the beauty professionals are charging in your city, we'll just give an example of a haircut. Just say the cheapest haircut is probably $20 for a professional. Well, in your school, you want to charge at least half price, $10. Well, who are you going to target? Single parent families, okay? We're going to target the elderly, go to the retirement homes, we go to places where there's special needs, all right? We're going to go to the dollar stores, go to the cashier, give her some cards. We'll give out free services, free haircut cards, Tuesday and Wednesday. Why Tuesday and Wednesday? Because you may be slow, or Wednesday, wherever the day you slow. They come in, they get a free service. After that, you give them a punch card. Then you call them. Hey, Ms. Robinson. Hey, Morgan, I just want to thank you for bringing in the child, you and Suave, to get their hair service. Although they didn't pay anything because it was free, but they've signed in, put their name. But if you call them and thank them, I just wanted to thank you for patronizing my business. What that's going to do is cause a connection. And then guess what? Before they leave, you get them another free haircut, bring a friend, and your haircut's free. So now I'm going to go get somebody else and give you another free one while they have to pay. So that's how you can build it up. Also, contact the newspaper. You're giving away free services. Why? Because they made a press release can get you free press. You never know. So now we got our clinic floor jumping. That can pay a lot of our bills. We're going to get our vending machine. Put the TV by the vending machine, so when they weren't looking at the snacks at the TV, they see the snacks. So we can go to Sam's, Costco, and do that. We can get our products. You want your own product line, I can hook you up with, Gerard's a good person for that. Let me give y'all Gerard. Let's see, products. He can get y'all own product line. Let me give y'all his number. I'm going to put his number in the chat, but I'll call his number out also. If y'all want to get your own product, Gerard, 517-902-7404. 517-902-7404. That's Gerard. All right. So now we talked about getting students. Now, what about when a student enrolls? They may need a payment plan. Okay, you can work with a payment plan. Make sure that they can give you X amount of hours per week. Why? Because now at least you got bodies in the school that can do the clinic for work. That's very important. You don't want an empty school. I had an empty school for months, and we're going to talk about. Okay, long story short, I was in prison cutting hair for 3 cents an hour. My sister went to prison too. I wanted to get a school. What did I do? When I got out, I immediately started back cutting hair. That's me cutting hair back in, that was in 98, 97, 98, and I opened my school in 98. But while I was cutting hair in the shop, I needed to know how to transition from the shop to a school. I didn't know how I was going to do it, all of that. long story short, I end up meeting this lady right here, Miss Velma, my mentor. The school blueprint that y'all have access to, it's not mine. It's hers. Okay. I was able to partner with her 11, 12 years ago. She was my mentor for 20 years. This lady was doing over $1 million a month. She had a chain of schools. This was back in the 90s. When I was in my school, I had 30 years of experience. Well, really, I had zero. But since I connected with her and she had 30 years, it maybe have 30 years experience. But Ms. Velma said the best location is the location that you can afford, because it's going to take you 2 to 3 years to get accredited with NACCAS. I said, okay. And she said, you need something, you'll be able to pay the bills because you got home bills and all that stuff. I said, all right. So that's what I did. Everywhere I went, I got turned down because I was a convicted felon. I was on federal parole, had gun charges, cocaine charges, conspiracy to distribute cocaine, trafficking cocaine, aiding and abetting, all of this stuff on me. I never got caught with drugs or whatever my friends did, but they charged me for everything too. But I had bad credit too. So nobody wanted to hire me. Hell, I wouldn't, nobody wanted to hire me, nor did they want to rent to me. I wouldn't hire myself or rent to me either based on what I did on paper, but that was my past. No means not right now. Finally, somebody rented to me. I was able to pay the first and last month's rent in this raggedy building, y'all, in the hood. Everybody laughed at me. The roof was leaking. Yeah, you see the roof right there. For you all that know about buildings, you see all of these brown stains or whatever. It was leaking everywhere. I had red chitlin buckets around. And as you can see, the desk is marked up. The chairs all kind of run down right there. I bought all that stuff from Goodwill. And I'm sharing this and being transparent with you all because it does not matter how you start. What matters is how you finish. That was all I could afford. Did I want a big school? Yeah. Did I want to buy a building? Yeah. Did I want it in a nice location? Yes, I did. But you can't have champagne taste and Coca-Cola money. Nobody in my family had money. I didn't have money. So what was I going to do? I had to start at the bottom. And it does not matter how you start. What matters is how you finish. So y'all don't need to be ashamed or whatever. Just get started. You don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started in order to be great. And I had a little bitty classroom. Little classroom, yeah. Some of y'all too young to know this, but that's a chalkboard. We didn't have dry erase boards back then. I bought these at like a little secondhand salvage store, whatever, these little desks and chairs. And when I first started at my school, I didn't have any students at first. For months, I had 0 students in the physical. Okay. And I had very little money when I started, very little money. But I had sacrificed. I ate oatmeal, took sack lunches to work. I cut off all entertainment, wasn't talking to any women, wasn't going out to eat, and nothing against when I say I wasn't talking to any women. It was just that I didn't have money to take them out to eat, get their hair done, nails done. You know, it costs. And I need to save my money. I rode the MARTA bus. And I encourage you all, take a year off and stay focused. You know, relationships sometimes can be a hindrance. Don't go out to eat for a year. Don't get your hair and nails done and feet done for a whole year. Do it yourself, you know, sacrifice. I don't know what your sacrifice is. And some of y'all won't have to sacrifice because you have access to people that can help you, your family members, your friends, your mates, your credit, bankers and all that. But for me, I had no one but God, okay? So I had to sacrifice. And I'm just sharing this with you all because you may have to do that. Short-term pain for long-term gain. If you live like your friends won't live for a couple of years, you'll live like they can't live the rest of your life. So it does not matter where you at, but I wanted to share that with y'all because someone on here needs to. When you get your school, you need to pray over it. I don't know what y'all's religion or whatever. I prayed on it. God has given all of y'all a vision. when he gives you the vision, he may not give that vision to nobody else. He may give that vision to one other person. He may not give it to anybody. So it's very important when you telling people certain things, because there are dream killers out there. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. No, you can do anything you put your mind to. With God, anything is possible. And you have to preach rain in the drought. I would come in here and get on my knees every day. And I thank God for 100 students in the spiritual, because you got to walk by faith and not by sight. While everybody else is walking by sight, what they see. No, I see 100 students. It was 0 in the physical every day. God, thank you for these 100 students. You said you was going to do it. You did it, God. Speak as if it already is. I got 1 student. I said, God, you did it. Now I want 200 students. Thank you for these 200 students. You got to speak that thing, and you have to believe it. Now, time progressed. I got that 1 student, and I'm cutting my clients. They charging me, they paying me full price. Charge your clients full price. State board come in, I'm doing a look and learn a demonstration, so you can keep the money rolling. Okay? Now I got my first group. That was my first group of students, y'all. Y'all see them right here. This was my first group of students. What y'all are looking at, this is a church. Everybody in this picture you see has been hurt. Whether they've been molested by a family member, they've been abused as a child, abused in a relationship by a man or woman or whatever, had kids at an early age, they've been to prison, they've been talked about, they've been bullied. Everybody in this picture has been hurt in some type of way, including the owner, me, in some type of way. That's one common thing that we all share. We've all been hurt. So your school needs to be a place of a safe space with no discrimination against race, creed, color, sexuality, gender. It needs to be a safe, loving space. And as a school owner, I encourage all of you all, do not tolerate any foolishness. I repeat that. I had a church. I didn't tolerate no discrimination against women, sexuality, race, creed, none of that. It was 0 tolerance. And you're going to have to put some people out. Yes. And you need to put them out in front of everybody, so you will get the name that you don't play. You got to put that crazy card out early. Andrew don't play. Cecilia don't play. Charles don't play. Cherie, Clay don't play. You need to put that crazy card out early. Denny don't play. Dion don't play. It's not going to be that type of party. Faye, no, Paula does not play. She's a loving Christian, but I'm telling you, she will take you there. Hope does not play. Walters, Javonda, Karen, they're not playing. They're in their ministry, their church is like a church home. Keisha does not play. Lacey, Leonie, Shambly, McKay does not play. They will put you out. They're going to love on you, Paris, Perla, Ms. Robinson, Roy. They're going to love on you and treat you like gold, take the shirt off their back, star, but they do not play. If Suave and Morgan, they will put your tail out, but they will love on you. To Neil, Troy, Vaughn, they do not play. They're very serious. That's very important, because some of these people, this is their last leg. They're at their wits' end. If this does not make it, if they don't make it, some of them literally gonna give up. Suicide, you don't know. So make sure that your school is a safe space. Very important. It literally brings tears to my eyes from this group. So we're going to keep on going. So now that we covered that. And yeah, I can tell y'all about the school with the 100 students, with the 200. All right, I'll show you all that. I got the school with the 200 students at 20,000 students. We'll cover a lot of that later on or whatever. The financial aid, I'll show y'all those videos. But let's get back. Now, a lot of school owners are going to make mistakes. They may get open through state board. Is it hard to get approved through state board? No, it's not, but it can be challenging. You're going to need all the documents to operate your school. And I want to show you all this. I know a lot of these documents are in the back portal, but I'll show, because NACCAS is going to want this stuff too. So let's, once you're approved through state board, that's one hurdle. That's great. Okay. But we want to get ready for NACCAS. When you open your school, you want to open it as if you're already approved and accredited. You want to open that school on the road to NACCAS accreditation. Why do you want to become accredited? People have a number of reasons of why they want to become accredited. Some of them, they want it because they want to get rich. They want to buy cars and clothes and travel the world and nice hotels, nice food. Some of them want to leave a legacy for their kids. Some of them want to break the generational curse of poverty. Some of them want to buy a better home. Some of them want to be able to be a pillar in their community. Some of them want revenge on their ex that left them, that said they would never amount to anything. We have a number of different reasons of why. I mean, put in the chat, why y'all want to get accredited and get to, y'all open these schools, give them something to talk about. If they're not talking about you in the beauty and barbershop, nail salon, you ain't doing nothing. Do you want to be the one talking about people in the beauty and barber nail salon, or you want to be the one being talked about? The minute you leave the ducks because you're an eagle and you start flying high and soaring high and above, they're going to start shooting at you. Expect to be shot at. Expect to be talked about. It comes with the territory. But you ignored it. When Nehemiah was building the wall, they tried to distract him and delay him, but you must build and fight at the same time. You have no reason, no time to even respond to the naysayers. Oh, well, you know, so-and-so, so-and-so. I remember when he's so-and-so. I remember when she's so-and-so. Give them something to talk about. Oh, I remember when he used to sell cocaine. I remember when she was hoeing at the club. Well, you know, so-and-so such got, so what? Give them something to talk about. And when you get that school, you know they got the little school down there. You know they got the little raggedy school is leaking in there, and he ain't got no students. I saw him in there praying and talking to God. You think God gonna answer his prayer? And he was a dope dealer, bringing that cocaine in and poisoning his community. You know he went to prison. You know his sister went to prison too. And she was going to be a registered nurse. She can't be no nurse now because she's a convicted felon. Well, you know his mama went to Fisk and got a master's degree. She's a school teacher. And his stepdad is a pastor. Got one of the biggest churches in Nashville, and he's selling dope. How his daddy going to be preaching the word and his son said, my daddy didn't know what I was doing. Let them talk. He won't be able to get accredited. He can't get no school. He's a convicted felon. He's on federal parole, girl. Child, he think he gonna get a credit and get that government money. They're gonna shoot him down because he's an ex-convict, convicted felon. Let them talk. Give them something to talk about. Well, he got the school that, well, he ain't gonna get she won't get another school. Get another one. Shut the naysayers up. Let me tell y'all something. The best revenge is success. I don't care what man or woman says. What did God say? What did he say? If I had listened to all of them negative people, my mom wouldn't be retired. She wouldn't be living where she living. I wouldn't be here. You got to let God order your steps. I'm telling you, DJ, hey, I'm going to go over the documents you're going to need to properly operate your school. Each one of these documents, I know you probably say, oh, I can do that or whatever. Look, if the verbiage and wording is wrong, non-compliant or whatever, you're going to get shot down. The goal is to get accredited. We already talked about y'all want to create generational wealth. That's going to take some money. And you got to get accredited in order to get this the millions of dollars of government funding. So guess what? You're going to need an enrollment agreement, but not just any enrollment agreement. and you all will have this in the program. The reason why you need an enrollment agreement, because this is a NACCAS checklist. And in this NACCAS checklist right here, everything that's in this checklist right here with these numbers you see, like the title, enrollment agreement, that has to be on your enrollment agreement. All of these things must be in the enrollment agreement. These course programs, total clock hours, all of this stuff. I'm not going to go over it verbatim. I just want you to see all of this stuff you're looking at has to be on this enrollment agreement. This is a checklist from NACCAS. All right, so let me go back here so you all will see that. And I'm going to make it big, because there are going to be people that's going to tell y'all different things that's not true, and I want y'all to be able to see this. So now, we go down. This is one of our leaders. They're in the program. Look. Everything is on here. They got all their programs. You may just have Class A barber. Okay, we'll have that. We know how to do the weeks. I think they may do 30 hours a week, so theirs is different. You can make your tuition whatever. All of this in here, all that stuff y'all see, yes, must be compliant. All these words must be compliant. All of this. The refund policy, everything on here must be compliant. Guess what? You all will get a copy of this. Bronze members, the ladies do this for you. You just let them know how much you're going to charge for your tuition and all that. Now you got an enrollment agreement that's compliant. Do not leave anything blank. If it's somebody that's over 18, you just going to put NA right here, NA. Student signed, date. Enrollment agreements must be dated, signed, all that before they start your school or on the day that they start. So now at the very bottom, make sure their initial right here, put this in a folder. And the reason why this enrollment agreement that's important, these NACCAS documents, you're going to have people that may try to sue you. You're going to have people that say, well, I'm going to call the state board on you, you so-and-so. You're going to have people to call NACCAS. It does not matter. Documentation beats conversation. These documents are NACCAS, federal government, bulletproof. So if they want to call the state board, call them. Here's the phone number. You know how when you get in trouble and your mom tell your mom, I'm going to call the police. Here, call the police. So now we're going to go back. That's the enrollment agreement. Guess what? Your catalog. Let's make this bigger for the people that have readers on. This is a NACCAS catalog checklist. A lot of y'all don't know about this. When you're going through accreditation, your catalog has to be in compliance with the federal government and with NACCAS. So that's very important that you all know this. Now, all of these, I'm not going to go through all of that, these numbers, but all this has to be in your catalog. Well, I don't know how to do a catalog. It doesn't matter. We already got a catalog. Already compliant. It's already compliant. Table of contents, licensed by TDLR. Your staff, you're welcome. Well, I don't know how to do no mission statement. Okay, copy this mission statement. Just change the name, your school name. Holidays you close, your square footage of your building, admissions requirements. All this has to be there. Policy for admissions / interest for foreign students. They don't know that. You got to have this there. Just copy that. Non-discrimination. It must be in here. We do not discriminate. We deny any person admission or graduation on any rights or privileges of the school due to age, race, color, sex, religion, creed, handicap, or ethnic origin. You got to have every last one of these in here. If one of them's missing, you're not in compliance. And trust me, NACCAS is very detailed. They look at it, they look at that stuff like this with a fine tooth. Trust me, they have a checklist going by all of this. That's how they're not going to miss that, because they got a checklist. Policy for reviewing the privacy release, sexual harassment policy, policy for reviewing the files of grading, graduation policy, employment assistance. You can't guarantee that they're going to have employment. You cannot. All right? You cannot guarantee. And if you read that, look, I understand that the school has not made or will not make any guarantees of employment. It's very important, the verbiage and wording, but y'all ain't got to worry about that. I can go through this whole catalog, the refund policy, people not going to have that right, the SAP policy. It will take me all day to go through this with you, but I'm just showing you this. Another thing, when the student starts, what they're going to need, the orientation forms. Let me show you all that. I'll make this smaller. You all will have blanks, but I wanted y'all to see this. The pre-orientation receipt, they got to sign and fill this out on the day they start or before. This better be dated before they start or on the day. Basically what this is saying, they've read the catalog, they know the graduation rates. Y'all have 0 NA when you first start. They know the state board license requirements, the SAP, they know all of that by signing this out. Plus, this right here, the student, this right here, the new student orientation checklist, when they check these 2 documents and fill those out, and the catalog and that enrollment agreement, you got them. They done sign their life away. It's just like when you buy a house. I don't know if any of y'all ever bought a house, property or whatever, or you went to the doctor and had a surgery or just went to visit the doctor. You done sign your life away and your rights. You probably ain't read all that, but you done signed it away. If that student tries to do any underhanded stuff or whatever, they've already filled all this out. Oh, well, Suave didn't tell me this or that. Well, Morgan didn't tell me I had to do this. So Javon, I didn't know that. Well, you checked, you signed and dated that you did. So whether they read it or not, that's why it's very important that y'all have these documents. Okay? And they're going to fill out those before they start school on the day. That's the orientation. Now, there are more documents. Let's go back. And I'm going to walk y'all down through all of these. All these documents are in your back portal. Look, you just put your name up here. Another thing, you got to have current student surveys. Every few months, every 3-4 months, you do a current student surveys. I'll make this larger. Y'all will get copies of these. I know it kind of looks, I'm just kind of showing y'all this, but I'll show y'all these in the back part. I just wanted this school, they had to send this in for their NACCAS accreditation. But basically, it's a current student survey. You got to have graduate exit surveys. When a student gets ready to graduate, they need to fill this out. Why? Because NACCAS is going to want this, and you can put that in a folder. All right? Now, your instructor survey, they have to fill this out. All right? You're going to need to have your license. I don't need to go over that instructor's license, but okay, instructor's license. Everybody knows that. When I say instructor's license, if you're in Texas, your barber license or nail tech or whatever. Now, let's go here. Once a year employee evaluation. Once they've been there a year, you got to do this employee evaluation. You'll have a copy of that. Your school license. We all know that you all will have that. Advertising. When you advertise, you always want to have all work is done by supervised students. You can have it in little bitty small writing on your business cards, postcards, whatever on advertising. Why? Because NACCAS, that's one of their rules. If you don't have that right now, you're not accredited, okay, that's fine or whatever. But you definitely want to have that. Now, the admissions policy, that's in your catalog. There are a lot of policies and procedures. They're all in the catalog. Leave of absence policy, we have that. This leave of absence policy, this is the NACCAS checklist, okay? That's back there in the catalog. Already wrote up the non-discrimination. All you prejudiced people out there, this is in there, must be in the catalog. Transfer policy, that's in the catalog. Now, we've gone over a lot of documents. Curriculum, the curriculum's back there. We talked about curriculums earlier. You already have that. Lesson plans. Go to what? MyLady.com for your lesson plans. Sample lesson plans. They're all in the My Ladies. Now, the refunds. We talked about the refunds. I showed you all one of those refunds. There are a lot of documents back here, but I just want to go over some of them. Practical exams. Practical exams, this is very important. Just say they having a practical exam on haircutting. That stuff they do with their hands. Was the edge up straight? It's either yes or no, right or wrong. There's no half point. If it's 10 questions, 10 points, that's 100. So it's right or wrong. Let's see. Let's go back up. So I wanted to show you all just some of this. Now I'm going to go into the back portal and show you all a lot of these documents that are blank. That way you all can see them better. But I wanted y'all to see it live too, where, you know, so actually did that. I'm going to take, so we're going to the back portal. That was me talking during a video training. All right, so here, we're in our back portal. Okay. Now, all the wholesale vendors and contacts, they're there. I've given y'all some wholesale vendors today. Burmax, a lot of people get their tools from there. My ladies, a lot of people get their books and stuff. But let's go over a lot of the documents. Employee application, that's back here. Every document you need is there. We went over enrollment agreement. I already showed y'all enrollment agreement, but all you're gonna do is download this. The ladies even put in search school name, because some of the guys, believe it or not, ladies, they're not gonna know to put their school name here and the school address, city, state, and phone number. So this is an enrollment agreement. It's already there for you to fill out. Well, we're not doing nail program. We'll delete that part out. Registration. You already got a registration here. If you want to add something on this registration, you can. You can add something on here if you want, or you can just use that one. We'll go, you remember the pre-orientation receipt? Here's the pre-orientation receipt. This is it. Make sure they check all this stuff. Sign date. Program name, Class A Barber, the start date. If they may not have a social media ID, you can put in there or whatever. Every document that's compliant is back here. If distance education, you can put NA if you're not doing that. They've read the catalog. They know all about the rules and regs and everything. Make sure they fill that out before they start school on the day. We show you how to do the satisfactory academic progress reports. We let you know when to do these. Every document that you need is here. Now, let's see. I'm not gonna go over all these documents because I've gone over a lot of stuff with you all. Let's talk about the NACCAS. Let's see. No, I won't be at the hair show. Let's go here. So let's talk about the NACCAS, about becoming accredited. So regardless of what people tell you all, I'm going to show you steps to becoming accredited. It tells you right here. And all we got to do is click on it. Now, you all will be able to read the steps to becoming accredited. That is too big. So let's zoom down. I think it's still big. So we're going to make this smaller here. But basically, if you go to the NACCAS site, click on steps to becoming accredited. You can go through here. It walks you through the steps. Now, I'm going to tell you, once you've been open 12 months, go to the NACCAS workshop. And you're going to go to that 3-day workshop. When you go to the workshop, if you already have your school feasibility study done, all that paperwork, the school feasibility study is the #1 thing. Because when you leave the NACCAS workshop, you will be able to fill out your candidate status application. On the candidate status application, you're going to create an account with NACCAS. You'll go in the back portal. I'll show you basically. You're going to go in the back portal, create this account, answer all these questions. you got to upload the workshop certificate that you went to the workshop. The workshop certificate cannot be over 6 months old, but you cannot start that process, the candidate process, until your school has been open 12 months. All right. Once you've been open 12 months, that's when you can start the process. So just say we've gone to the 3-day workshop, it's $525. They usually have 3 or 4 per year. Now, we fill out the application, submit, it's $1,485. It's all online. You got to submit a resume for the school owner, another resume for an office worker. If you don't have an office worker, get a family member, a friend, or whatever. You got to sign this form, a certification form saying everything is true that you are submitting. Then you got to sign another form saying you watch these webinars or whatever. Then we're gonna need your school license, a copy of that. And then the school, our team will do your school feasibility study. We'll upload all that in the back portal, submit it, boom, you pay your $1,485. Plus, they have sustaining fees. Those are yearly membership fees. They're like $1,940, something nice per year, about $150, $160 per month. But you have to pay for them all at once. If you enroll in the NACCAS, program in the middle of the year, 6 months into the year, they're going to prorate the sustaining fees for 6 months. So you're going to pay your application fee, $1,485, plus the sustaining fees. All right. That's that. Once you submit that, and that's done, it's going to take NACCAS a week, 2 weeks to look at that. If it's not correct, they'll send you an email saying, hey, it's not correct. A lot of school owners reach out to us after they done got denied because they done tried to do it themselves, answer questions themselves, and they've messed up. We'll go in and fix it or whatever. Now, once they've looked at that and you're in candidate status, then that's when this document right here. If you look at this document, does anybody know how many pages it is? This school's institutional self-study is 271 pages. So the ladies had to go in, type, do all this stuff. They had to put the electronic bookmarks. You see how I'm clicking on this to the left and it goes to it like advisory committee members. I clicked it, it goes there. The ladies had to go in here and put these bookmarks. If we click on instructor survey, look, it goes there. This is the institutional self-study. It's anywhere from 2 to 400 pages long, depending on the school. Our team, depending on what program you all in, they do all of that paperwork for you. I know a lot of y'all scratch your head. Whoa, that's a lot of paperwork. I got accredited in record time. Ms. Velma and her team, they did all my paperwork. That's the smart way. I'm telling you, if you have a toothache, go to the dentist. That's the smart way. A lot of this stuff, if you want to save time, money, get there quicker, hire a proven expert, a proven team to do that. They're literally, I'm going to show y'all the NACCAS accredited schools. Now, let's get back to what I was talking about. Once you are in candidate status, you're approved for that. The next thing is that 200 to 400 page institutional self-study. NACCAS is going to give you 2 years to be in candidate status to submit that. You want to submit that like the next day. Okay, as soon as they approve you for candidate status, boom, you should already had us or some team or whoever to do that ISS and upload it to keep you going. To keep you going. All right, so you can get that faster. So boom, now we do this institutional self-study. We already got that done. We have a lot of people going to the March class in Orlando that are in our program. We've already done their ISS. Now, the ladies work fast, but we need the paperwork. Some things from you, I like the enrollment agreement, the students signed it, the current student surveys, where you had students to sign it, those orientation forms, the checklist and all that. You got to have your students to sign that. You got to email it to the team so we can put that in here. That's something that we can't do. We're not going to come to your school, fly there, sit in the classroom and get Sally Sue to sign this, do that. No, that's something that you can easily do. Now, once you submit the ISS, then next you can submit a form for a candidate visit. That's $2,425. I'm telling you everything right now, but I'm going to go and show you. So when I show you, I've already told you. Now, after that, They'll come out, visit your school, 2 NACCAS team members. They're not coming there to put you in jail, write you up, do anything. They're just there to tell you need to get this together, that together, whatever. All right. Now, after that, you got to do your 10-page initial accreditation application. 10 pages. Oh, well, depending on what program you're in, our team will do it for you. Ms. Velman did mine. And they'll submit that. And we got to revise the ISS. The ladies will revise it, send it in. Then you got to have your CPA to do audited financials. Let me give y'all Nathan's number. I'm gonna give y'all his stuff right here. For this, no, because a weekend or week conference, that ain't gonna help y'all. That ain't gonna do nothing. If you're going through accreditation or you plan on going through it, I encourage y'all to hire a team. I don't care if it's us or whoever, hire an expert, because if not, if you have kids, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, boyfriend, husband, no matter what you have, I don't care. It's going to cause conflict and confusion and arguments, because you're going to be stressed and you're going to be devoting all of your time to this NACCAS stuff, this paperwork, and you're going to be neglecting them. And we need love, especially men. We need love and attention, and women do too. So I encourage you all to hire somebody. Just like a couple of weeks ago, his guy, him and his wife we did like a little Zoom, because his wife told him that she wanted to get in the program for us to do all this stuff. And she said, no, we can just do the little other program. We can do it ourselves. I said, okay, that's fine, but if you have any problems, reach out. I got to do my number because I already knew. I'm not going to record this part. Let me stop. I'm going to put that on the. All right. So now, let's share this screen. And we're here. Now, if you go through the steps, if you click on the steps, that's everything that I just broke down to you all. I just broke everything down. If you click on them steps, it's going to pop up, and all of this is broken down. You only got to have one student, one graduate. That's it to go through accreditation. That's it. Okay. Once you go through initial accreditation, you can do that at 18 months, but candidate status, you can start that at 12 months. Once you start the process, you can get through it in a year and a half, if you submit all your paperwork and stuff on time. But I wanted y'all to see this, but I'm not going to read through all of that, because I just broke that down to y'all real plain and simple. Now, if we look on here, the workshop schedule, click on workshop schedule. It tells you, look, when the next workshop is. Now read this, look at the hotel reservation deadline. That's kind of important. The most important thing is early bird registration. If you don't register by March the 1st, guess what? Deadline, early bird, it's 5/25. If you register late, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go up to 7/25. Then if you register on the day of, 9/25. So it has different times where they're going to be. This is going to be in Orlando, Florida. The next one is in Virginia. So now you can see. Now you got to send this in. New schools, registration form here. And that's another thing. If you don't understand stuff or not 100% clear, reach out to the team. And it's got to be a cashier's check or money order, not no company check. They've sent this back to people because people not reading. So I'm just kind of going through this with you all, so you all can go through this on your spare time. Now, there's a workshop. I told you, look, early bird 5/25, regular fee 7/25. You want to save that money. Now let's go back. Let's see, NACCAS. Okay, we've gone over that. Let's talk about accredited schools. Accredited school search. And I'm gonna stay on here because I'm gonna do some Q&A. Now, it's 1 million beauty shops and barber shops, nail shops in the United States. They're on every corner. I don't know. Everywhere I've been, there's shops on every corner. Have y'all seen a lot of shops? Do y'all know of a lot of shops, salon suites, all of that type of stuff. There's a bunch of them, they're on every corner, but not a lot of schools, which means that's great for us. And there's not a lot of NACCAS accredited schools, which makes it even greater. Yes. Think about that. But a shop, dime a dozen everywhere. So let's talk about, do y'all want to look at to see the schools in your area? Let me know if y'all want me to pull up the screen where we can go through the schools in your area. Let me know. I'll do that if you all want to do that. All right, so this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So I am not going to record this part. Well, this is what we're going to do. Since we're doing Texas, we're going to start off with Texas. All right, so we're back here, state of Texas. Is Texas big? Give me a yes or no. Is that a big state? Yes or no? Is Texas big? Is Texas big? Yeah, okay. Every state is big, I would think. All right, but look how many NACCAS accredited schools in Texas. Somebody tell me how many NACCAS accredited schools are there in Texas? Put that in the chat. 105. It's 105 NACCAS accredited schools. What is that telling you? What is that telling you? That's telling you, what is that telling you? Exactly. It's room for more, a whole lot more. Hell, it's thousands of shops in your city alone, in your county. Isn't it? I'm sure. So now it's room for more. Now, for the Texas people, only Texas people right now, put what city you all want me to look up. I'll start with Houston because people always say Houston. They always say Houston, Texas. It's 7 accredited schools in Houston. Only 7. Okay, let's go Sugarland. S-U-G-A-R. Is it one word or 2 words? One, okay. It's 0. Suave, you'll be the first. It's 0. Long Beach, Texas. Okay, Long Beach. Accredited school, 0. Duncanville, D-U-N-C-A-N-V-I-L-E. 0 accredited schools. Anybody else in Texas? Okay. Now, I'm going to share something else with y'all in Texas. If we go here, candidate schools, search. It's 23 schools in Texas trying to get accredited. Out of these 23, I will tell you this, about half, maybe more than half, are in our program to get approved. All right. Y'all remember this school, State. I just showed y'all the ISS, but it's a lot of these in Texas in our program to get accredited. So now what we're going to do, I'll get my, okay, it says 2 in Abilene. So now we went over Texas. You have other accredited institutions. You have COE and you have Middle State. And there may be other schools that are accredited with COE and Middle State. Not a lot. Why do people choose NACCAS? NACCAS is the Rolls Royce. They're the top. They're the cream of the crop. If you're NACCAS accredited, you're the best, toot your horn or whatever. Paul Mitchell's NACCAS accredited. Empire's NACCAS accredited. Veda's NACCAS accredited. A lot of school owners have tried to go through some of the other ones and got approved. A lot of them got denied, and then some of them went through NACCAS. But NACCAS is like the top. That's probably the ones you want to do. So I did want to let y'all know that. But not knocking the other ones. They're good too, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm going to go over the money part, and I know a lot of y'all have different programs, whether it's a 600-hour program, 750, 1,000-hour program, or 1,500-hour program. So I'll base it on a 1,500-hour program. When I had my programs, it was 1,500 hours. So I'm going to base it on that, and I'm going to break it down. Now, I have a video on YouTube where I told all the secrets. I broke everything down step by step, what no school owner has ever done on the planet, and put it on YouTube. Now, a lot of people threaten me, cuss me out, talk crazy to me for putting that video out. But I wanted you all to understand and see how these school owners are making millions of dollars, because nobody really knows that or knew that. It's like this little secret where you don't ever tell us, don't ever reveal this. No, I'm going to tell you all. So I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so let's break down the financial aid. All right. And I like to show y'all because I don't want people to lie to y'all or try to get over on you all. I have nothing, no race in this horse. They've given me over 20 mil. I started building houses. Hell, back in what, 2000, 2001, been building ever since from ground up. You know, Miss Velma taught me that. So my goal is to duplicate myself and make you all better than me. Y'all build more houses than me. Y'all get more government funding than me, more schools, more students, everything. So you all are getting my help along with Miss Velma's. Pell Grant. This is a 1,500-hour program. Both award years from July the 1st to June the 30th. That's 1 year for the government. For us, it's January to December. So if a student started in July, August, September, October, November, whatever, they can fill out the financial aid, get a Pell Grant. If the student is still there next July, they can fill out financial aid again and get 2 award years. So a student could get up to $10,550 for both award years for a Pell Grant for a 1,500-hour program. Okay, so I just want to break this down now. A Pell Grant, we got to break this down. What is a Pell Grant? A Pell Grant is free money that nobody has to pay back. And even the price your school, when you're not open, Suave, if you're not accredited, then you may want to charge half price of what an accredited school is charging. Or you may want to call around to see what all the other schools are charging that are not accredited and kind of make your tuition kind of close to theirs. Now, so a Pell Grant is what? Free money that no one has to pay back. All right, that's what a Pell Grant is. No one has to pay that money back. A loan, that's money that people have to pay back. So just say 10 students started school on Tuesday, and we are accredited, and they qualify for a full Pell Grant, and they're in our 1,500-hour program. By Thursday or Friday, by Friday, the government will wire 3,000 times the 10 students. They will wire $30,000 to your bank account. Now, I know that seems like it's unbelievable, it's not real, and all of that, but trust me, it's real. If any of y'all see the accredited school owners, you all know. 30,000 will be wired. Now, them same 10 students, when they hit 451 hours, guess what? And they got at least a 67% attendance, at least a 70% grade on average, they're going to wire another 3,000 times those 10 students, another 30,000. Now, I get this question asked a lot. Well, what if I get 10 more students to enroll the next week? The same thing will happen. Well, what if I get 10 more students to enroll the next week? The same thing will happen. So we've covered the Pell Grant. Now, at 901 hours for a 1,500-hour program, when them students hit 901, the government will wire 20,000 to your bank account. When they hit 1,201, they'd wire another 2,000 times 10, That's 20,000. Okay. That's how that works. Now, does everybody understand the Pell Grant? If it was a 1,000-hour program, when they first start, they'd give you 3,000. When they hit 451, they give you another 3,000 for a 1,000-hour program. But I'm doing this on a 1,500-hour program. So that's how the Pell Grant works. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, a Pell Grant is only one reason. Well, there's several reasons why they may not qualify for a Pell Grant. Number one, if the student is rich, they're not going to qualify because the Pell Grant is income-based. All right. Now, the Pell Grant is not, I repeat, it's not. Everybody say not. 1, 2, 3, not. It's not credit-based. The government does not check credit for students to get financial aid. The Pell Grants or the student loans, I don't care if their credit scores are 300, 200, 500, they don't check credit. Now, if a student went to another school and they got a student loan and defaulted on the student loan, they couldn't come to your school to get financial aid until that matter is resolved. Okay? So now, we understand the Pell Grant. Now, what if you hire a teacher and they teaching, well, we'll come back to that. Let's go to the student loans. Do y'all want me to go over the student loans? How the student loans work? Y'all want me to go over the student loans? Okay. All right, so let's go over the student loans. There are two types, the sub and unsub, subsidized and unsubsidized. That's the government, their wording or whatever. Now, so when I had my schools, my tuition was $20,000. Way back in the day, it was $20,000. Yeah. Why? Because I was the best. It wasn't just me teaching them how to cut hair. They learned about credit, business, funding, LLCs. They learned about, hell, I talking about God. I don't know, I might have shouldn't, but I wasn't supposed, but I did. I had them reading Think and Grow Rich, Who Moved My Cheese, The Richest Man in Back. My church was, my school was a ministry. It was like a church. So they was learning all this stuff. People from accountants, doctors, lawyers, everybody was coming in teaching too, sharing. I had guest speakers. Now on the student loans, on a 1,500-hour program, a student could qualify up to 15 to 16,000 in student loans. So if they got 15,000, whatever in student loans and 10,000 Pell Grant, that's 25,000. But your tuition is only 20,000, correct? So once the school got their 20,000, any credit balance, negative balance, we refunded it back to the student. We wrote them their check back, a refund check, right? Okay, but they didn't get a credit balance until 1,200 hours because remember, they don't send all the money up front. So let's go through the student loans. Them same students that got the Pell Grant, them 10 students, remember? Now, they filled out for the student loan. The government doesn't send the student loan all real quick. They have to be in school 30 days. 30 days later, the government will send that 47,000, they'll send $4,700 for them 10 students. All right. So 4,700 times 10 is 47,000. That's for that's one of them now, but it's two. You have the subsidized and unsubsidized. Okay. On the subsidized, it's $4,700 plus $3,000. So that's $7,700 that they send in 30 days. Subsidized and unsubsidized. One of them is $3,500. One of them is $4,700. Another one is $3,000. I'm sorry. Now, so that's $77,000. So that's 7,700 times 10. All right. So now, here we go. Let's break this down. The Pell Grant, 3,000. Subsidized and unsubsidized. I'll just break it down like this. The Pell Grant, 3,000. times 10, 30,000. Student loan, 4,700. 4,700 times 10 is 47,000. 30,000 in Pell, 47,000 in student loans, that's 77,000 that you would get within 30 days. Does that make sense? Okay, now, when they hit 451, 3,000 for them 10 students, 30,000, 4,700 for the student loans times 10, 47,000. When they hit 451, they're going to send that 77,000. If all of them students hit 151 hours at the same time, same date, next day or two, they're going to send the 77,000. Now, at 901 hours, they're going to send, remember, the 2,000. Okay? For the Pell, times 10 is 20,000. Then they're going to send 3,500 for the loan at 901 hours. So that's 35,000 plus the 20,000. Remember, 2,000 times the 10 students, Pell Grant, 20,000, $3,500 times the 10 students, student loan, that's 35,000, that's 55,000. When they hit 1201, they send another 55,000. That's how the Pell Grants work and the student loans work. Okay, so now let's break this down. We go back to the Pell Grants. I broke that down. What if you have students enrolling every week, every month, or whatever? I enroll students every week. Why did I enroll students every week? Because my mentor right here, she was my mentor, and that's how she told me to keep the money just rolling. So now, one thing that's the same in every language all over the world, the one thing is numbers. Numbers cannot lie. Okay? 2 plus 2 is 4. Numbers do not lie. The government, they never run out of money. So let's break this down. It was 4,700 per student for the student loans. At 901, it's 3,500 for the student loans per student. 3,500 is the payment. At 1201, another payment of that. That's how that's broken down. So that's how we came up with this. So I'll do this again because this may be twisted and mind-boggling. You understand the Pell Grant, 10 students times 3,000. Well, what if the student didn't qualify for a full Pell Grant? And there are some instances where they don't because they made some money, but they maybe didn't make a lot. How much? Well, the government has a formula that you put in the computer and it'll tell you that. Now, what if a student quits or withdraws and the government has sent money? That's a good question. Well, the way that they wrote the laws were wrote for school owners to get rich. Think about it. If a student enrolls, they don't get paid. They got to work like a slave, and the school owner gets 100% of the money. They could have wrote the laws where the student could get at least 10 or 20%, but they didn't. They wrote the laws to enrich themselves. And if a student don't do a service, you get to put them out. Nothing they can do. They wrote the laws with the financial aid. We don't want to check credit because we know students, 99% of them going to have bad credit and we wouldn't be getting money. So they wrote the laws where they could get money. There's no credit check. That's crazy. You can get a student loan, free government money and all that, and no credit check. Bad credit, no credit, doesn't matter. They wrote the laws for themselves. So you as school owners, you're in a position to get rich. Even if a student quits, by the time you do the refund calculation, the way that they wrote the laws for refunds, you're going to be able to keep the bulk of the money and the student is going to be left paying all this money. They wrote the laws. So it's in your favor as a school owner. Now, I wanted you all to see how the money works because nobody is sharing this with you all. I know we got some of y'all that work at schools and okay, yeah, you work at a school. So just say you teach 20 students, you working at this school. All right. And tuition is 20,000, that's 400,000. Plus in a year, they're going to generate maybe 100,000 on the clinic floor. You just made this school owner $500,000. One employee made the school owner a half mil. Y'all put in the chat how much they pay instructors. How much they paying instructors? 40,000 a year. Some of them, look, Marla said nothing. Suave said, don't make me mad. How much they paying them? Pretty much nothing. But you see how much the school owners have made. That's why school owners get mad at me when I do this. I don't care because I don't need their money, none of them. I'm good. God has blessed me. $15 an hour, right, hourly. So now you see how these school owners are getting rich, but we can't get mad at the school owners, start $19 an hour, because a job is created to make the school owners rich. Okay, McDonald's, the owner's probably a multi-millionaire, but look what they paying the workers. That's why we want to become school owners. That's why you all want to click this link right here. That link right there. That link right there. So you all can get in the program and get your own school. I've shown y'all the money. And the goal. I mean, what is your why? I want y'all to put your why in the chat. This is why y'all need to get in the program and open the school. This right here. This right here. I want y'all to watch this. My mom in here, she'll tell you a little bit about it. So how has me opening that school changed your life?
Well, we were living in the neighborhood. It was a pretty nice neighborhood in Nashville. And so after Chin opened the school and had worked a while, he told me he wanted me to retire. And about that time was the time that I was going to be at the age and have the years in. So he was able to convince me to retire. And I did. And he moved. I didn't even know he had this house, but he always said that he wanted to get another house for me and so that I could retire and just do the things I wanted to do while I was still able to do them. And so since I've been out here in Hendersonville, I've enjoyed a life of something that I never imagined. And I'm enjoying the house. I'm enjoying being with him because he works from home. And I just sort of keep house the best I can, but I'm living a really good retirement life because of him.
Well, I know a lot of y'all want to start creating generational wealth and retire your mom or grandmom or your wife or husband and move to a better place and have financial freedom and time freedom. If you're in the beauty industry, then I recommend the School Blueprint and click that link below and we'll get started. Okay. We all have different reasons, and it's very important that all of you all have a why. You know, I don't know why you want to open a school, become a part. Some of y'all said I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.